Hey, contractors. It is your host of the Contractors of Colorado Podcast, me, Andrew Lavrans. It's good to see everybody today. I have an awesome guest for us. I think you'll all appreciate their work, the craftsmanship, everything they can do. Before I announce them, shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to the Builders Outlet, our material supply partner up in Denver, right by Empower Stadium. Cabinets, doors, windows, trim, anything that you need, come to them, start a conversation. They're huge supporters of our community. So thank you to everything that the Builders Outlet does for us. And as always, the Business Foundry, thank you for letting us utilize your space here, both for our events, this podcast, we're doing in the podcast and media room. So anybody that needs any content for their business, contractor or entrepreneur, please come support the Business Foundry. They're huge supporters of everything we do. Awesome. Well, let's jump into it. Today, our special guest is Mark Wagner with Wagner Floors. Mark, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's a pleasure. One of our preferred contractors in both regions for flooring. So you've got this whole thing locked down. You're an awesome company. Kelly, your wife, I'll let you jump into all of that and how the family dynamics of the business work. But I wanted to start out by saying, one, thank you for being a supporter of us and our community and everything we do.
Thank you.
Of course. So tell us about yourself. We'll put business to the side for a little bit. Tell us about who is Mark and what do you do for fun?
Right. So, I mean, we're, I guess you would say we're a third generation entrepreneur, or it even goes back further than that. The family ranch started in 1915 in eastern Montana on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation. I'm from here. My dad moved down in the 50s, but all of our summer vacations were spent harvesting wheat, branding cows. My dad wanted to make sure that we knew how to work. So, a lot of free work was our family vacation.
Yep.
Trying to play cowboy. My dad was a state farm agent in this town. My mother had a pottery store. Proud to be, second generation Colorado entrepreneur.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know about the Montana side. That's really cool. I spent quite a bit of time up in Montana, eastern, central, from Billings to Bozeman, Helena, everywhere. I was traveling every couple of weeks and working with contractors out there.
Okay. Yep. Glasgow, Montana, the most remote town in the United States.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. It's that's a whole other podcast right there.
Right.
We'll do that someday. Well, awesome. So I did not realize that you had generations of entrepreneurship in your family. So that's amazing. I work with your wife, Kelly, closely. She does queen of operations on her business. What does it say in her business
Queen
card?
of ops. Yeah. But really, she's the queen of marketing. She's been involved in sales and marketing for hospitality for 30 years, over 30 years. And she really just looks at every person that she talks to on the phone, instantly becomes her best friend. I mean, it's like, welcome to, our company. We're really grateful to have the people that allow us to come in their homes and do these projects. But Kelly really just takes care of everyone and makes everyone feel welcome.
Yeah, she's a great presence to have around here. The more meetings she makes it to, with the contractor meetups and all that, it's just you, the team, her. It's just great to have you guys around.
Absolutely.
Who else in the family? If I'm not mistaken, there's other family members in the business.
Right. So Kelly's son, Zach, works with us. He's on the hardwood crew, and my son, Ben, is doing sales. They're learning the business together, and it's great to have them work with us. Absolutely.
Great. Tell us about the flooring operation. You handle residential, you do commercial, everything in between.
Yeah. I would say we're probably 85 to 88% residential. So, and we do floor coverings. We do carpet, hardwood, tile, luxury vinyl plank. LVP is the big seller. That's what people do these days because it's a lifestyle product. There's a whole resilient floor category, laminates and LVP. But LVP has been so popular because of its toughness. It's waterproof, easy to clean. Whatever your favorite cleaner is, get out your Swiffer and clean it up, and it cleans up every time.
Yeah, I've got a 2-year-old dog.
Okay.
I've got a almost 4-year-old boy.
Yep.
And I've got a 4-month-old daughter. I've got LBP in that house, and it's awesome. We steam mop it and everything, so it's sometimes I'm amazed. My kid comes through with one of his outdoor toys and rides a scooter through, and I just hear it and I'm like, oh no, and I look and it's perfectly fine. Or you just rub it a bit and it buffs right out.
Right.
So that's cool. In that vein, material use is such an important part of what you all do, what materials you're using. And it's an extremely impactful piece as it relates to the homeowner. That's what they see. That's what they're going to feel. That's what their lifestyle needs to be conducive to their lifestyle. Do you educate in that process, or explain that process to us?
Right. So our whole interaction with a customer, we're designed for in-home shopping service. So we bring all of the styles and colors to the customer's house. And while we're there, we get an example or get some insight into how they live. Do they have kids on skateboards? Do they have dogs, right?
Yep.
What's going on in the house? And, what is really the style and the color are very important. There's no question about it. One of our taglines is flooring is the foundation of in-home fashion, right? So, how that looks could dictate what color you're going to paint, what cabinets you're going to get, what kind of furniture you're going to buy. So the color and the style are very important for sure. But then, how do you live your life and what is the durability of that product? Is this something that you need to wash on a regular basis? That's not necessarily good for hardwood. Hardwood is a more difficult product to care for. What we say is hardwood will tell the story of your life. There's always going to be that fateful day where you drop a knife on the floor or something happens and you're going to have that chip, crack, or dent there for the rest of it to remind you of that day, right? With LVP, which is luxury vinyl plank, that's the initials, it's not as likely to happen, right? And, if we do have a terrible accident where one of the pieces is destroyed, we can come in later on and replace it as just part of what we do.
Makes sense. So the homeowner side, consultation's a big part of what you do, making sure that they're understanding. You bring the materials literally to them, samples.
Yeah.
And then they get to feel it, look at it, choose it, hold it up against their cabinets, hold it up against everything, the wall color and all of that. That's I like the foundation of your say that again for me.
The foundation of home fashion is flooring.
I like that.
Yes.
Foundation of home fashion is flooring. It makes a lot of sense. Seeing as we have an audience of contractors, there's homeowners in here. A lot of our contractors are homeowners, maybe even considering redoing their floor. So that's all great info. If we pivot a little bit to how can Wagner Floors work with other contractors? Tell us a little bit about that.
So we have a good clientele base of general contractors already, designers and realtors, and some property management. I would say are our biggest, but probably the general contractor is our biggest repeat type client. So what happens with what we do is we bring a showroom, a full mobile showroom of literally, more than 1,000 styles and colors, right? That the customer can choose from. So oftentimes what will happen with the contractors that we work with is they say, this is Joe and Betty's house, go see Joe and Betty, and this is their budget. And so we show up on site, we look at the project, we measure, and we go through with Joe and Betty. These are your colors. These are your styles. These are within budget. If you want to break the budget, this is how much we're going to break it by. And so what that does is it takes all of that time consumption from the contractor, potentially going to a big box store or a competitor locally that has a showroom. They're picking up the sample. They're bringing it to Joe and Betty. Joe and Betty says, I want it just one more shade, or I want a little bit different design. We have that all with us when we go. So it really streamlines the contractor selection process, takes it out of their hands and makes it easy. right? Managing subs, managing us, yeah, we're pretty good at showing up on the day that we say and doing the install. So, and that in the contracting world, quite frankly, is not the norm, right?
Yeah, sadly. You've hit on our mission there, Mark.
Right.
Professionalize the trades. That's what we're up against.
If somebody wants a floor on June 5th, we can fulfill that, every time. If there's a reason that we can't, the customer will know ahead of time. It's never a no call, no show. Virtually never a no call, no show situation. Do things get lost? Maybe once or twice a year. We do 15 installs a week on average. So that's a large number of installs. But we take that selection process out, we streamline it so the contractor doesn't have to have all that time invested. And, they have their budget. We fit it in their budget. They've made money on what we've done, and it wasn't as hard for them to make money. Could they make more if they did all the footwork themselves? Sure.
Right.
Does it kill their time? Yeah, it's a lot of time. There's a lot of time invested.
Makes sense. So really you're there is continuing the experience with the homeowner, that consultative, we're experts, and we don't even have to just explain it to you. We can show you. We'll open up the back of the truck, start bringing some materials in and show you some stuff.
Absolutely.
Very cool. I don't know why I feel the need to say this, but you keep talking about everything that you do and the mobile showroom and everything. Your trucks are impressive. Like the fleet's wrapped. You guys are always so well branded. Talking about going back to professionalizing the trades and how that's such an obstacle. And sometimes it feels like communication wins you jobs, period, of just communicating, just doing what you say you're going to do. Marketing and branding is such an important part of that. We talked about Kelly's role, but that's one thing I wanted to congratulate you guys on and kind of give you some kudos is every time I see you, the trucks are here, the trucks are wrapped, they look incredible, they're clean, they're clean, and you guys show up and the branding's always on point. So just thank you for being a great example of what we want to bring across the board.
Yeah, I think it's important for the customer to know. I mean, if you look at the outside of our cars, they're clean. If you look at the inside of our cars, our samples are organized and ready to go. If somebody has something that's gotten beat up, we just replace it. We want them looking good out there in the field, and we want them to be organized from the beginning, right? So if we're organized from the beginning with the product selection, with where the products are going, it's in the living room, it's in the kitchen, and then we're organized with transferring that information to our subcontractors that do the installing. All of that stuff is just critical. And so we work on that all the time, and we have someone that is their full-time job is just knowing, what's going where, when, and it's probably more than she can stand. But if we go to 20 jobs a week, she probably needs help, right? I mean, I think we're at our max right there. So, that's important for the customer service, for all the way through. Right. We want to do what we say when we say, and that causes a lot less problems. If we do have a problem, no matter what, we want to be kind. We want to be kind to the customer. We want to be kind to our salespeople. We want to give people grace if there is a mistake made, and really just be open and honest about, this is what happened. This is what we're going to do to fix it.
Yep. It's a core trait out of all of our preferred contractors that we heavily hit during our verification is, what is your process? I don't expect perfection. Like you admitted it, hey, but things happen. We're not perfect, but we have processes. We have a strategy, and we know at the end of the day, if we fail at all of that, we're kind and we want to do the right thing. We have an ethical backbone. That's who we're looking for out of the preferred contractors. And then we're there to help you grow and do whatever you want to do. So awesome. I love hearing that. What trends are you seeing? Anything new in the flooring world?
Well, we're sitting here at a gray table and the grays are going away, boys. Everything is turning to light and tan again. It seems to cycle about every 10 years from dark to light and from warm to cold, right? And maybe a mixture in there. So in the early 2000s, the Brazilian cherry, the warm, dark, rich red. it kind of faded out and everything went to gray and then got really, really light grays and whites. Now those grays are turning to the light blonde natural oak. We're seeing that everywhere this year, those lighter natural colors. Carpet has come back big time this year. I think it may be a price conscious thing. Carpet is still the least expensive, although we're seeing a lot of our property managers is saying no more carpet. We're doing LVP. We know it costs more, but we're going to do it less often.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Makes sense. A little cleaner, easier to clean up.
Yeah.
Sturdy. That makes sense. The trends are so interesting. So we just had on our previous episode, Anna with Builders Outlet in here.
Okay.
They do cabinets, doors, windows, trim. And so she was talking about, same question. Trends are you seeing? You're in the supply side. You're right there talking to the contractors who are right there talking to the homeowners or the investors putting these materials in their properties. What do you see? Same thing. A lot of oak, a lot of light oak coming back.
Yeah.
Which is great as I'm thinking about my house and I got those nice gray LVP floors. I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, but that's awesome.
Right. We have the farmhouse rustic and it's gone. I hate to redo the floor again, but it's not up to trend.
Hey, I think about those Castle Pines houses, some of those big ones that never got the facelift. And I'm like, those cabinets might be that coming back into style sometime soon.
All right.
So that's really cool. This is great. I'm having a great time just kind of learning more about the business, giving you an opportunity to just share anything. Is there anything that's come up that, you want to be sure in this episode that you communicate either, to me or to our audience here of what are we up to? We just crossed the 22,000 member mark. So they're here looking at you, Mark.
Wow. 22,000 members. That is awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, it has to be a win-win. We would love to connect with anyone who, is looking to streamline their business. I believe in the general contracting world, we can really help that along. Just because we are, the sales process and the install process, kind of a full service thing. The other thing, I guess, we're a family-owned business, and our plan is to build something that will outlast us, that the kids can take over. And so we're really looking at, what are the things that are in place and what are the long-term relationships that we can build. I love doing business in this town. I love this town. I don't want to go anywhere or do anything else. Overland High School, class of '84, go Trailblazers. I plan on being here with my kids and grandchildren. So, this is it. We've got roots. We're not anywhere where we're hiding from anybody. I'm not afraid to see anybody in the grocery store. There's no project that we've ever had that went so bad that we felt afraid. And I think because, if something does go wrong, we've always been willing to, step up and what does it take to make things better?
Yeah, I think that's a rarity in the construction world that comes right back into our goals, trying to make that a more of a standard for everybody is, hey, if we lead ethically, you'll be surprised how flexible and understanding a lot of homeowners can be. And even when they're not, as long as you're leading ethically, you usually have an opportunity to make things right. Are there situations where that doesn't happen? Of course. But as long as you're communicating, you're being ethical along the way, and you're trying to do the right thing, I would say in my experience, a majority of people understand that and appreciate it. So that's I'm glad that that's a common thread in your business as well.
Right. And you know what, that comes back. I mean, so if we're talking give or take 750 jobs a year, we did an intent to lien on one house in the last 5 years, right?
Right.
I mean, we do what we say, people do what they say, and it comes across the finish line. I mean, that's a lot. That's a big number without having to worry about payment issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a conference call today with kind of a surrogate CFO that we're bringing into the the company. And one of the things he talked about was doing a soft credit pull on all of our customers. And we really have to look at, does that make sense? And, with the track record that we have, it seems like we'd be doing an extra step for, what we, for a need that we don't have.
Right.
Right. It's amazing the things that come up in business, and just because somebody else experiences it, it doesn't mean that it's ours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. So I'm hearing, obviously the ethical practice, having an ethical backbone, family owned and operated. You have roots in the community and have for a long time. Is there anything else that you can think of that separates you from any other flooring contractor out there?
I mean, so we know what products work and we know what suppliers serve us. And it's not that other people don't know that, but there are certain big box stores. There's a big box store that carries very great quality product in town, but it's not a running line. So you buy it this year, you can't get it next year. You get a decent deal on a really good quality product, but if you want to add that room next year, it's going to be a different color. Right. So we keep running lines, which I think is important. That allows us to, warranty and take care of our customers on the backside. It allows us to, if someone is budget constrained and they want to do 2 rooms this year and 2 rooms next year, chances are we're going to be able to buy it. We can guarantee it if they buy it all and put it in their house this time, or store it for us. And then, we work with suppliers and manufacturers that we know. So we're putting in the same product again and again and again. And there's a difference, right? We're talking about LVP. Well, there's 7 different locking systems that I'm aware of for luxury vinyl plank, right?
Wow.
So, how they go together is important, and having someone that has experience with that product is important. Our crews have been with us. Our primary crews have been with us for over 10 years. Also a family company. Also, just very dedicated, hardworking. And if there's an issue, they want that at the top of the list, right? If we have a go back or a show up, hey, we're going to go take care of the customer we already took care of before we go make more money, right?
Right.
And that's the way they're wired. And so it's a very good relationship. I know the name of everybody that's in your house, right? I mean, and you're not going to get that from a big box store. You're not going to get that from other competitors. And maybe one day we won't know that, but hopefully our systems will be in such a way that your main point of contact will always know everybody you're working with.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was the next point that I wanted to talk about. Was you mentioned utilizing sub crews in the past and earlier in the conversation. And I know that can be such a scary concept for other contractors, homeowners, anybody. The reality of it is you start peeling back layers. It's a very, very common practice in this industry. The question really is not, are you using a subcontractor or not? It's, what's your relationship with these people? So to know that you have a long-standing relationship, you understand their business, they understand yours. It's like perfect, match made in heaven. Let's just keep rinse repeating off into the sunset.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and again, we get paid for what we do. They know that they're going to get paid for what they do, and it works out over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could sit and talk floors all day. I've got so many questions, but they're just so minuscule in terms of a podcast of like,
sure,
why go into these sort of details? But I want to say thank you for coming. What's next for Wagner Floors? You got anything exciting on the horizon?
We are looking at different things. We have a product called Race Deck, which is a garage floor tile, but the epoxy floors on garage floors have become so popular. So we keep pursuing that. And if there's an epoxy floor contractor out there that would like to give me a call, I would appreciate
Careful what you ask for, Mark. Epoxy boys. So there you go.
Currently, we're in 50 homes a week.
Awesome.
So that's our appointment run. So we have availability to take on additional services. And if we find a good relationship, we look at it as we're a sales and marketing company. This is our primary function, is to bring in work and keep guys busy. And with that, Kelly has a lifetime in marketing. I have a lifetime in sales. We have a pretty good thing going. And when people see that, and see that it makes sense to work with us on the subcontractor side, it can be a good relationship as long as we understand each other and we're willing to try some new things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the success. Everything seems to be going awesome. It's a pleasure having you all around as our preferred contractor. So any of the contractors, any residents in here, investors, I know we have a healthy investor following too, since our sister organization, the Real Estate Deal Makers, has started utilizing us as their preferred contractor network. We've got a lot of the investors in here. So anybody looking for anything flooring, talk to Mark and the team. Wagner Floors, they'll take care of you. Anything you wanted to get out today in this podcast? We're about to wrap this thing up.
That's it. Call anytime, 877-WAGNER or WagnerFloors.com.
877 Wagner. I like that. Nice and easy. Well, it's an absolute pleasure, Mark. Thank you for being here today. That's it, everybody. That's the finale here of the Contractor of Colorado podcast. We'll see you next time and have another special guest for you all. Take care, everybody.